CNN, the most trusted name in news.
I bet we're going to talk about the environment just in case you haven't noticed yet, but you see right here on the screen this green CNN logo. Well, it's something a little different that we've been doing lately because CNN is going green, has been going green for the past few days. We want to let you know about Planet in Peril. That is to air Tuesday and Wednesday. It's to give you and everybody else an idea of exactly what environmentally this country and the world, as a matter of fact, are going through. Tony Harris is going to be telling us all about that coming up. Update you once again on what's taking place in Southern California, but for a moment we're going to depart. You may have noticed something a little different on the bottom of your screen today. The CNN logo in the lower left corner has turned green, and that's because CNN is going green over the next week. We're digging deeper on environmental issues, covering stories that affect all of us, from the air we breathe to the fuel we use. It all coincides with the premiere of Planet in Peril, a special report from Anderson Cooper, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and Animal Planet's Jeff Corwin. That's next Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, only on CNN. And just a few days away now from that premiere, Anderson Cooper, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and Jeff Corwin are teaming up to explore the world's environmental issues. One thing they learned along the way is that some of the biggest threats to the planet are coming from places you would never expect.
You're looking at one of the largest emitters of greenhouse gases in the world, the Amazon rainforest. How is that possible? How is it that a forest covering 9 countries, home to 250 indigenous tribes,
this is one of my most favorite creatures right here,
holding 1/4 of the world's species, can be a major contributor to climate change? Because it is, quite simply, under assault. Carbon naturally stored in trees is released when they're cut down. They're being cut down at a breathtaking rate. These are the men bent on stopping that. They're agents with IBAMA, the Brazilian government's environmental protection agency. This mission in a remote corner of Brazil has been in the works for over a year. The agents are heavily armed, but heavily outnumbered. Their job is daunting, something you can only appreciate from the air.
It's amazing you really get a sense from the air just how enormous this is.
No, it's incredible. It's just so expansive. Just in the Amazon basin alone, it's 2.7 million square miles of habitat, and roughly 70% of that is right here in this extraordinary country, in the country of Brazil.
2.7 million square miles, that's a little bit smaller than the continental United States.
Exactly.
Huge.
But all of that is in jeopardy.
It's so disturbing to see this.
It's just absolute utter devastation and destruction.
20% of the jungle has been lost in the past 40 years.
It seems, though, the problem is once you get out to these remote areas, you can do just about anything. I mean, there are very few people watching over you.
These regions, when you're away from any bit of infrastructure, can be pretty lawless, and basically anything goes.
Anything goes. And the IBAMA agents know that. It doesn't take long for them to pick up one of the illegal roads made by poachers. There's no telling what's around each corner. In the distance, the agent spots something suspicious. The truck slows and guns are drawn.
They just found a truck with some people. Let's check it out.
All right, Planet in Peril, Tuesday and Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Perhaps you want to take action to protect the environment. Perhaps this series helps, inspires that, but you're not quite sure how to do it. Well, you're not alone, which is why we have called upon the founder of treehugger.com, Graham Hill, to help us kind of cut through it all and figure out how do we go green. Because, Graham, a lot of folks say they want to go green, but they're not really sure where to begin. You look at that piece and We're talking about the jungles being stripped. Does that mean people need to say, okay, I'm going to go paperless, or I'm going to no longer demand wood furniture as a start? Be realistic with us.
Well, there are many, many, many things you can do, and certainly that could be some of the stuff you could look at. Treehugger.com, PlanetGreen.com both have literally thousands of things that you can do. If you want to get to some more simple ones, look at your own home. Simple things like a sweater, a t-shirt. These are things that you have. Your thermostat has a big effect on global warming. So turning it down or turning it up slightly will make a big difference. So if you layer up or layer down accordingly, you'll have a huge effect just in itself.
So sometimes it doesn't mean going out and spending money on energy efficient appliances, things like that, tools that a lot of folks are being encouraged to buy, which always have a much bigger price tag, which may in part discourage a lot of people too.
Absolutely. There's very simple stuff. I mean, I would look also at transportation. Anything that you can do to drive less is a big thing. So the bicycle is a great example. It's one of the most efficient ways of moving yourself around, and it saves you money and gets you fit at the same time. So that's a good one. You can't bike? Fine. Look at doing some ride sharing, some carpooling, or at least plan your trip. See if you can get a number of errands in at the same time. So they're very simple things. Public transportation is a great way to start. In our series, Planet in Peril, a lot is being focused on the repercussions of things not being done well. So as an environmentalist, do you look at anything in particular and say, okay, this is an example of what is going right? Where are you encouraged? Well, I'm very encouraged. I think you can tell by the media that a lot of people are thinking about this stuff, and it's starting to be something that really matters. If you look back in the 70s, it was common. You'd be driving along the road, people would be throwing stuff out of their windows. That was fine. Well, through a series of fines and PSAs, etc., that's changed. We look at the world in a different way, and so really it's a matter of us evolving. We shouldn't beat ourselves up. We need to learn to live on the earth in a different way, and we can do that. And so it's a matter of us learning to sort of determine what's appropriate and what's not. And that sort of social currency will have a big difference, and that's something we try to do with Treehugger and the upcoming Planet Green. All right, Graham Hill, thanks so much, of treehugger.com, and that's the website where folks can get more information about what they can do to be a little bit more responsible about their participation and the environment. Thanks so much, Graham. Thanks very much. Tony Harris straight ahead with much more in the newsroom. Of course, we're all looking forward to Planet in Peril.
That's
this
Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that.
You've been reminded, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is extraordinary.
Yeah.